Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon to our friends across the pond. I'm Mark Sebastian, your only option. I'm joined by Alicia J. Leslie, our Queen of the Candles, my queen, and of course, Hans Albrecht, our Director of Income Trading here at Option Pit. Happy Monday. If you have not seen what Hannah and I revealed on Thursday, you have to check it out. There are links for you to register to see it. Before you can watch the video, you have to sign an NDA, but going to be worth your time. Now, we're doing a lot of cool things. Alpha AI is, the next great thing that we've launched here at Option Pit. It is finding these short squeezes, giving us advanced notice before they happen. But there's some really cool add-ons that we're giving to you guys. Some really cool bonuses. One, I'm just starting my boot camp next week. Number two, Frank and I are doing 5 stocks under 10 that you should own. Now, I want to show you a name. We had Frank on right after China and the U.S. Were kind of starting this trade war. I want to say it was probably about 6 weeks ago. We moved Ticker Highlight Show to Tuesday, and Frank and I came on live, and he broke down some names that he thought were going to be big winners out of it. One of you, USAR. But I want to point out another one that he pointed to us to, and that is CommScope Holdings, COMM. This stock was about $6.50 when he said, I think this is one worth owning. By Friday, it was over $8. And today, it is currently trading just below $14. So the value that we're giving you with Alpha AI is not just the advanced notice, which on its own is incredible, but we're giving you so many great bonuses that are going to help you make money. Frank and I have 5 awesome names heading your way in the coming days that you're going to want to own right now. But just know, like the last time we did this, one of the stocks that we're looking at, just about every stock that he threw out, I want to say 4 out of the 5 are up. And when I say up, I mean like CommScope Holdings up, USAR up. So this is a bonus that you guys should definitely take advantage of if you're not already. So I'm very excited to share that with you guys. I'm looking at Alpha AI right now. So far, nothing's triggered, but we got a few that are maybe gonna pop up here, but nothing yet. And that's the beauty. A name that I was looking at closely on Friday is Replimune, and Replimune hit 2 out of my 3 tripwires, did not hit my 3rd, and lo and behold, it wasn't a short squeeze, it was getting ready to dump. And that's one of the beautiful things about having that 3rd tripwire, is that it is going to make sure that we don't get into something that is seeing a lot of action, but maybe seeing a lot of action for a reason. So I'm really excited about what we have going here in Alpha AI with our ability to give our traders advanced notice, and these bonuses that we're giving to you guys probably on their own are going to pay for your subscription to Alpha AI, because like I said, if you had listened to Frank about 6 weeks ago and picked up some CommScope Holdings, you'd be looking at a huge profit. The calls I bought off of Frank I made $400 a pop on those calls. So not too bad. All right. So welcome to the Ticker Highlight Show. Reminder, every week, me, Hans, Leisha, and usually Andrew get together and we share a name we really like and a name we think maybe is going to be soft here for the next the next few weeks, a name that we don't like. And today we're going to be doing that same run through. So I want to start by just kind of talking about the market as a whole. Obviously, Friday was an unmitigated disaster for the market, right? It did not see it coming. I can tell you, based on how VIX was pricing itself, based all the market metrics I look at, the market was kind of caught flat-footed there. I've been kind of pounding the table that options were too cheap for the last week. Now, my base case was that we were going to get big moves up, not big moves down. That's the beauty of when you trade option prices. If the big move is down, you're still going to do pretty well. So with options now kind of repriced a little bit, the market is now ready for this type of move. We're up about 1.13%. That's about in line with where VIX is at 18. So Friday, really rough day for markets. Combination of tariffs, a abysmal non-farm payroll number, and then it looked like we were going to get a little rebound. Why? Because rates starting to move in our direction is going to be a big benefit, right? When you look at the CME FedWatch tool, September went from about a 60% chance to about 90, and now we have pretty strong odds of a second and a third rate cut coming our way. That is going to put that was where markets looked like they were starting to rally, and then we made this announcement about the nuclear subs, and that was the end. That was the end. So in this market, you got to be a little tighter. You got to, that is really what it comes down to, be tighter with those profits. So let's look at the names that I personally think are going up and going down. I want to start with Apple. And initially, the market seemed to take their earnings as a positive, right? They did absolutely crush those numbers, and then they said they were open to M&A in AI. Initially, I said that kind of changes the trajectory, except it doesn't until you have a name that you're going to buy. So I think that Apple is going to continue to be an underperformer. Now, Apple's not going to zero. This isn't a company that's going out of business tomorrow. But, I just want to remind you how it has done against the other major names, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, kind of the old school names in tech. And year over year, it's down 1%. Google's up 20. Microsoft and Amazon are up near 35, and Meta's up 60. So when I say, I don't like Apple, it's not that I think it's going to zero. It's that it is showing itself to no longer grow. If we go to even a 2-year chart, it's up 13%. The other names are at a minimum up 50. And, even going back the 5 years, the only one that really kind of underperforms on the 5-year is Amazon. And, coming off the previous 5 years from there, Amazon had been kind of a beast. So Apple still, when I look at kind of how these guys all perform, I think Apple is kind of in a tough spot for growth. And thus, it's one that I don't really want to own. It's probably what I'd be using to hedge my portfolio when I'm looking to go long, or if I want to be long, like kind of the tech basket, I'm hedging I'm going to protect myself with some Apple. I don't like it, and I think it's going to be a kind of a dead money for the next year or two unless they make that big jump. If they don't buy somebody, they are toast. They're toast. So maybe they should just go buy IBM. I'm sure Hans will have some different ideas on who they can buy. Hans gave had a really nice discussion on Friday. We'll follow up with that a little bit more today. But they need to buy somebody and like now. Somebody that will jump them ahead in AI that can be their own proprietary thing, because that's where they're getting dinged. Now, on the positive note, I know I've been saying how much I like Reddit for the last year, and I continue to like Reddit. It's back to $200. The last time they had a crazy earnings beat, and they absolutely did on Thursday night. Got carried through on Friday, up more today. I want to remind you the run that this thing went on. So it gapped from $82 to 105, ran to 115, and topped out at $230. And that was in about 2 months. It tripled. Now, I'm not suggesting that Reddit is going to triple, but the company's worth about $34 billion. And they have the most data. They have the most access to data outside of a company not named Meta, probably in the world, with the amount of users they have. Hans mentioned that 40% of the world is in Meta's universe. Something like that. Almost 4 billion people. 2 Chinas. It's like China and India put together. Reddit has that. Or not.
And it's real data, Mark. That's what's, in this world of AI, we're going to be seeing a lot of AI created circular, we're going in circles kind of data, but this is going to be coveted, right? Real data, real people, real problems, real solutions, real communities, and that's going to feed AI. And so these guys have a couple of businesses. One is the advertising side, which people are going to pay dearly for to get those real eyeballs. And then it's the sell our access, right? Now you have to buy. There's some new rules. If people have read about Cloudflare, you have to, you can't just steal everything. You can't just take whatever you want. You have to pay people for what you want. And this is very desirable to the AI hyperscalers.
As you should.
Yeah.
As you should. The people suing were right. I'm not like Mr. I know Frank would be very, very, he's beaming right now because we're glorifying a lawsuit, but I'm kidding. But you should pay for data that you're taking from another company. So Reddit has kind of already built for them this meta model for advertising. And then they've got this secondary model on data. At 35 billion, can you imagine if and they wouldn't sell for 35, it would probably have to be 80, 90, 100 billion dollars for them to get bought out, because everyone sees the hockey stick growth that they have. But can you imagine if Google got their hands on this, or Amazon? Apple would have no idea what to do with this. They would not. But can you imagine if one of these big AI firms, ChatGPT, if ChatGPT is currently worth a couple $100 billion already. Can you imagine if ChatGPT buys Reddit for $100 billion? They're going to be able to sell this data, or they're going to get acquired, and someone is going to use this data to make a ton of money, which will be kind of cool. So I really like Reddit higher. I can't wait to see what Leisha thinks of it. This is one where I don't just trade, I also own. Very rarely do I own stocks. This is one where I'm like, I should buy these. I should just buy some stock and stock it away, because when I come back in a couple of years, I'm going to own 6x the number of shares, something along those lines. So Reddit to me is one of those is kind of like a Palantir type company, right? Where you buy it, you don't think about it, and for some of your for a little piece of your portfolio, and then you also are trading it over the top really actively because it's moving and shaking. So there are my two picks. I don't like Apple, and I do like Reddit. Talking to Andrew, he likes Reddit as well. We'll get Leisha's take on these in a second because obviously I know she's looking at these on the charts. So let's kick it to our Imperial Overlord of Income, the master of turbo income and the turbo trade, the man behind MTI, Hans Albrecht. Hans, what stocks are you looking at here today?
Yeah, so it's well, to your point, Mark, this has really become a market that is, what have you done for me lately? So we saw that last week, right? Microsoft, fantastic, taking advantage of AI, cloud growth because of that, and it gets rewarded. Amazon, slower cloud, like pretty good numbers, but I think it's still great. I think they're getting it wrong, but it isn't, hey, what are you doing for me right now? It's not enough for the market. So it very much people flocking to get, the results oriented names, and they're getting rewarded for that. So for me, this is a little bit of a different pick. So my bullish pick is actually kind of a fixed income. It's a little bit boring, but I don't want you to think of it as boring, because I've been talking about this for a while. I've been telling members in Turbo Income, saying, we're adding some TLT, we're adding some fixed income exposure, not because I'm excited about making 5%, but because I think there's going to be a big reset at some point. And I've been very steadfast on this, and basically the job numbers on Friday kind of confirmed. One number doesn't a trend make, but it confirms that things are soft. I think AI keeps a lid on inflation over time. I think it's going to be quite deflationary, in fact, certainly on wages. And so I think it's an interesting place to put your money. I think you could put your money in some fixed income type things and make 25, 30%. So, eat your heart out, AI stocks. Like, I think you can do pretty well. So my idea, and there are a number of them you can pick, is IEF. I think it is, I think that area is maybe a generational opportunity. I think we'll look back in a few years and go, wow, that was really nice. 5%, especially if you are kind of more yield oriented in your portfolio, maybe a little bit in that demographic where you're not taking on as much risk. You don't want to take on as much risk in, high flying stocks. This is kind of an interesting play. So I think that continues to do well. I think we've seen peak rates. And so that's kind of nice. Now my bearish pick is Bloomin' Brands. So again, along the lines of AI and who wins and who maybe loses. I've got nothing. They do Outback Steakhouse, Carrabba's, Bonefish Grill, Cheddar's, things like that. We don't have some of these things in Canada, but I've been to a bunch of them. And so I don't have anything, against Outback, especially if it's the kind where you don't have scorpions in your boots when you get up in the morning, not that kind of Outback. But these are restaurants that are kind of,
well, my son got stung in the butt by a scorpion, right?
Did he really? Oh.
Yeah, we told him over and over again, Mark, pick up your towels. So he gets out of the shower, puts the towel around, and
where was this, Mark? Australia?
No, this is in Texas.
Oh, okay.
So
that must have hurt.
What's the ticker on that one?
BLMN.
So so the scorpion sting I hear from upstairs. I'm running upstairs, and he got stung. Now apparently the hind end is exactly where you want to get stung because there's a lot of meat there and stuff like that. So he was fine. I was like, Mark, I'm really sorry. He's like, he just responded, I'm just really glad I didn't put the towel on the other way.
Yeah.
So that would have been much worse.
Yeah, that could have been. All
right. So back to Bloomin' Brands. This is Outback, Carrabba's, Bonefish.
Yeah, they're kind of middle tier, right? So, and I think as the middle gets squeezed, as AI maybe starts to kind of make its way into, sort of threatening some of those sort of middle class, white collar, lower white collar, lower middle class. I think that area, we're already seeing a bit of weakness on the consumer discretionary side in some restaurants. And I think that continues. So I'm not like massively bearish on it, but I don't think that's a very good place to be. I think a lot of those people who maybe spend in that tier maybe move down to those kinds of quick service sort of restaurants, right? The ones we know. So I think McDonald's does okay, even though it's gotten stupid expensive. I think some of those lower ones, Chipotle having a little bit of trouble. I don't know, maybe because it feels like a big brick sitting in your stomach after you eat it.
Well, it's $15 for the burrito.
It's expensive, yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna go to like a regular Mexican restaurant that is like run by people who are actually have cooked this stuff since they were kids.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get rice and beans on the side included, and it's gonna be better with better ingredients.
There you go. Fresher, better.
I never understood Chipotle. I don't get it.
It's gotten crazy. 20, 25, you know, what was my friend was telling me that for him and his girlfriend, it was like $50 to go eat. And I thought, wow, that's pretty crazy. That used to be, you know, a half decent entree for a couple people. So anyway, I think that area is kind of an interesting one to watch. And that's it.
Yeah, Bloomin' Brands definitely looks weak. Darden would be, if you don't like Bloomin', then you're not going to like Darden, which owns, in particular, my favorite restaurant, Olive Garden. For those of you that are new, Olive Garden is a can of Chef Boyardee that they charge you $15 for. Just a reminder.
Do they still give you that big bowl of salad?
What?
It's the breadsticks and the salad.
Bread is good. I'm sorry. If I take my toaster out and I pop a piece of Wonder Bread in there and butter it and hand it to you, you're going to be like, Mark, this is delicious. Right? Bread is always good. Everyone loves bread.
No, not always. I disagree.
With rare exception. How about that? With rare exception, bread is usually pretty darn good.
With butter on it, it's often good.
Yes.
Just slather the butter on. Yeah.
You throw some butter on some bread, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you've got, you know, a Darden would be another name in that group. And you're right, Chipotle's been under some pressure. So Hans, I don't disagree with you. So now, so Hans likes the bond market and doesn't like these chain restaurants. Bloomin' is his name this week. I think Apple's going to be dead money, and I really like Reddit. Let's kick it to our Queen of the Candles. She's going to give us a couple names, and then I'm interested to see what she saw in some of our other picks.
My choices this week were, am I sharing?
Now you are, yes.
Okay, thanks, Christian. Altria.
Oh.
Held my pitchfork support really well, blew through the convergence of the 21 and 50 day, cleared the most recent highs. I think it's on its way back to the median line up here, 64.86-ish, 64.5 to 65. Nice little consolidation, taking a breather here. That's my long, I like.
All right.
Pepsi was my short the other day. Now it's kind of wallowing. It is staying below the 21 day. It had a nice gap and held the gap for a while. Once that gap failed, hasn't closed it all the way yet. That would take it to 135.5. And the 200 days way down here at 147. So, but we are kind of getting a little spinning tops here. I would wait until maybe it traded a little, showed us a little more bearishness before hopping in short there.
You know what, Alicia, after a really good Altria trade, you know what I like to do? Sit back and fire up a Marlboro and just enjoy the moment. Like,
well, you know what's popular now are those nicotine pouches.
Yeah.
They're saying nicotine now without the tobacco is a healthy thing.
Oh, okay.
Which is wild.
It makes me just want to ride a horse into the sunset with a Marlboro hanging out.
Right.
A cowboy killer in your hand,
That's
maybe
right.
a bottle of whiskey by your side. I get it. I get it, Hans. I can see that.
Look it up. Nicotine they're touting it as a healthy thing now.
All right.
Now,
all I know is,
I don't know if
Justin, you better be AIing a picture of Hans with as the Marlboro Man as we speak.
I don't know if you guys noticed, Boz is in the chat, and she asked us to look at Hood. I like Hood, Boz. I think you're right.
Hey, Boz.
Held my you do have a high wave doji yesterday, Friday, but getting some confirmation to the upside today, clearing the 21. I think hood's on the rebound. I agree, Vaz. That would take it 109 half at least. And maybe even the previous high, 113.60. I think Vaz is changing my mind. Hood looks like it has more action than Altria.
All right. Now, Hans and I threw out some different names. Did you see anything in those names that you liked?
Yes, Reddit, tremendous move. Of course, I got caught in this consolidation, and Option Chopper was hell. But it did make the move. We called it higher. It made the move. Look at that volume. I have it up against a little resistance here, trying to break back into this older pitchfork. But yeah, bullish to 230, 229 half. I think it wants to retrade that previous high. You said TL. You want me to look at TLT or IEF?
IEF. Which is, for those of you unfamiliar with IEF, this is an ETF that is essentially a tracker of the 10-year note in bond futures. It's got a little shorter duration. I think duration is about 8.5, but this is a replicant of the 10-year note.
It's a very good kind of Powell pivot. Like TLT is a bit. It's sort of more longer term inflation, debt, this and that. There's sort of, if there's a restructuring of the curve, this is more the Powell going, we got a problem. Play perhaps.
At the moment, it's up against a little resistance of those previous highs back in June and April. Above there, though, you get a close above 95.81, 97.39, 97.40-ish is the previous high in between there. And then, maybe you do get the rally to 99. I'd like to see it clear this resistance before hopping in. Your MACD and RSI are looking bullish, though.
Yeah, it might need to simmer a bit.
BMN, what was it? BLMN?
BLMN, yeah.
This is failing it's trying to maintain its 50-day there. That's hanging out on the 50-day moving average. You do have earnings, though.
Yeah.
So
what's that moving average? See that moving average? Is that the 20-day, Alicia? That it broke through? No, the one above that.
That's the 21, yeah.
Yeah, the 21. So if it made a move towards that 21, that could be a primo sorting up.
Nice place to sell.
This is one of those names you got to worry about them hiring Sydney Sweeney for an ad campaign. The stock going up $8. For 100%. But I don't know which one are you looking at as kind of your favorite here? Are you, Alicia?
Well, you mentioned Apple.
Yeah,
I think Apple could wallow more here, Mark. It doesn't look ready to really make the big move. It made a big move Friday. Now you're getting a Harami style candle at support.
I think Apple is an income play, both up and down. I'm not a huge Iron Condor fan, but Apple might actually fit the bill on an Iron Condor or a straddle, just because I think it's going to be really range bound. It
looks that way, doesn't it? It's been doing that since back here in April. So once it took that rebound like the rest of the market in April, it hasn't really participated, has it?
Nope, it's been dead money. It has been dead money.
Amazing. So as I said, I think Vaz came in with a great idea. I like Hood, I think, the best.
We're going to give Vaz the bonus here, huh?
What do you think? I like it.
I like Hood. Hood. Well, Reddit is just one, like I said, I buy a sock away and forget about it. Right.
Yeah.
It has made a move. I think we may wait for it to kind of pop back into your old pitchfork and then jump in.
Yeah, you may get a little pullback. 182-ish would be a nice place to purchase.
We get to move back to 182, and I will be backing up on some calls, and I'm guessing I'm going to have some big money flow following along with me. Let me just see if there's any, like, I just want to make sure there's nobody out there buying 80,000 puts in Hood. Right now, it does not appear to be the case. The heaviest action is on the August 115 calls. Those expire a week from Friday. And some other things like that. August 110s. There's plenty of action. Looking at the options themselves.
I just read Northport, Florida, man. America's going to be known as a diabetes capital unless we get over our bread addiction.
I'm not saying I'm addicted to bread. I'm just saying bread is good.
But I have to say, bread has replaced my chocolate cake, right? Bread is the new treat.
Yeah. Well, Lauren makes sourdough bread, and it is so good.
Sourdough's healthy.
It's supposed to be better for you, like than regular
fermentation
bread.
Is good for
you.
you.
Yeah, it's supposed to be way better for you. So Lauren's all into the sourdough. So right now, looking at the options, the cheapest contract to own is the August 29th options. So those have about 25 days to expire. So a good month. And you know, what's your upside target here, Alicia?
Sorry, we're looking at
in Hood. In Hood.
Oh, in Hood. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, who might argue with Vaz and Alicia? That'd be like, you know, what I have learned is if Alicia and Vaz agree, go long. You will not. You are highly unlikely to lose.
So some support resistance here. 107.
107.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
which is a great move. We would take our money there.
Yes. The August 29th, 107 calls are $5. That is a, if you want to turn it into a spread, which I would actually suggest here because upside calls are really expensive. So for instance, like the 107 calls are $5. The 125 calls are $1.25, $18 out of the money. And they only cost, and they cost 25% of the value of that at the money call, of that just out of the money call.
Yeah.
So and it's outside the straddle, blah, blah, blah. So if this was behind in like Delta Strike or something, or Turbo Income or Option Chopper, we'd probably be looking at a call spread here. But because we like to keep things simple here in the Ticker Highlight Show, we are going to buy the August 29th 107 call. We're going to pay $5 or less. That is the August 29th 107 call. And we're going to pay less than $5. So I'm going to put that out right now.
Thanks, Vaz.
Great idea, Vaz. Oh, that's not James.
It's got some good Momo.
Yeah, absolutely. So, folks, while I'm getting this in, I just want to remind people, if you've not watched Hannah and I from last Thursday, you need to change that. Because you will learn a lot. So I'm targeting you're going to learn a lot about really how markets work, about how to make money in this market. And again, I think you're going to be a happy camper. So, get in there. Oh, I need to put the trade identifier 25 and publish. All right. So, this should, I'm going to drop this into the lower chat here so that everyone can see it. And there you have it, folks. You should be able to see the trade there. And so that is going to be just below where the video is here. It's also scrolling beneath us right now. All right, folks. So we'll be back Monday with another version of this. Andrew will be back. For those of you that are new, we want to say welcome. We're excited. We're here every single day at 10 a.m. to help you become a better trader. You get to see me, you get to see Andrew, you get to see Alicia, you get to see Hans. We kind of rotate depending on what's happening. And it is, we're going to try and help you become a better trader every single day, including this show where we're giving you real actionable trade ideas. So make sure you add this to your calendar. And again, if you've not joined and checked out Advanced Notice, we're dropping that link in for you to watch the webinar. So with that, we hope you guys have a great day. So for our Imperial Overlord of Income, that is Hans Albrecht, and of course, your queen in mind, the queen of the candles, Alicia J. Leslie. I am Mark Sebastian, your only option. Have a good one.